Assalamu alaikum class. Today we are going to start the deep analysis of characters that were introduced by Jane Austen in her novel Emma. That which type of characters she has just introduced in her novels, and what is her art of characterization, and what those particular characters which she introduced represent, actually which type of life they have, they are going to represent, that which type of relationship is there in that particular age, which type of what is actually the thinking and thoughts of the characters of those particular novel, and which type of life, society, relationships they are going to represent in that particular novel. There are number of characters in Emma, as it is the characteristic of Jane Austen to introduce number of characters in her novels, and the story is also very that is also the story is about the number of characters that the thinkings of the class is representing, either it's the upper class, middle class, lower class. It is represented by different characters, and we have seen that all the characters are representing someone in some proper class in that of that particular age of 19th century. We will discuss all major and minor characters in detail. By deeply analyzing the characters, we will come to know what actually Jane Austen's art of characterization, that which type of characters he introduced, and what is her sense of using different characters in her novels, and how she is inculcating the thoughts of 19th century, how she is inculcating the thoughts of society in those particular characters of her novel, so that people can clearly understand the reason of introducing these types of characters in her novel. First of all, we will discuss all the major characters of the novel Emma. And Emma Woodhouse, she is considered as the protagonist of Emma, and there are number of positive and somehow there are negative qualities in Emma's character. Emma is beautiful, clever, and rich. She can be generous and caring, as in her behavior, her behavior towards towards her father, towards her family, towards even towards her servants. That she is showing very kind behavior towards the people who are part of her life, whom she is associated by any mean. But she is also a snob, and she does not always suppress her honesty. Why is she snob? She is showing this snobbish type of nature by her character, by her thoughts, by her actions. We can analyze that she is showing her whatever she is having, she trying to show those things towards other. She try to underestimate other by showing her power, by showing her wealth, by showing whatever she had, and no one else had that much wealth, that much power, and she is showing all these things in her character, by her actions, and sometimes by her speech, by her words, dialogues. Also, she had good intentions with Harriet Smith, whom she befriends and tries to improve and um, tries to show that as she has no a respectable past, but she can be acceptable as the girl who belonged to upper class, who belonged to the respectable family. As she is trying to improve her character, she is actually showing her superiority over that particular girl, Harriet. But she ignores the girl's questionable origins and elevates her to a place where she is comfortable and acceptable nowhere. Emma has a strong imagination, and it sometimes get her in troubles, as she sometimes she just think very high. Just think that she can do anything. She has power to change the world. She has power to control everything in her hands. But this is actually when reality is something opposite to her thought. Reality is something opposite to her imaginations, and all the imaginations what she has just made, what she was thinking, just broke down when she had to see reality with open eyes. She loves matchmaking, and she looks so hard for clues that she will often manufacture them. She had made a match between Miss Taylor and Mr. Weston, and she at that time she just had made up her mind that she can be the perfect matchmaker, and whatever she is thinking that this person must marry this person is in love with that particular person, it must be true. Rather, actually, this is not the case. Except the a couple of Miss Taylor and Mr. Weston, no one else just came under her came according to the imaginations of Miss Emma, as she is not actually she is not the perfect matchmaker, and she is matchmaker only in her imaginations, only in her thoughts. Such is the case for Harriet Smith and Mr. Elton, then Harriet and Frank Churchill, then Harriet and Mr. Knightley. And all these three imaginative imaginative love relationship between among these couples is only in her imagination. Rather, actually, the case is totally opposite to it. That no one loves Harriet and except Mr. Martin, but she just made up her mind that it's Mr. Elton who must marry Miss Harriet, and she just arranged their meetings. She just arranged arranged to make conversation between them, but actually when the reality comes in front of her, she just got embarrassed from Harriet. Same she did with Harriet, with Frank Churchill and with Mr. Knightley, but nothing was true in it. There is no reality lie in this particular in these affairs. She also likes to gossip, and she invents an affair between Jane Fairfax and Mr. Dixon, and it was also her wrong imagination, as there was no affair between Jane Fairfax and Mr. Dixon. She is a romantic, and this attention to the hearts of others keep her from examining her own. As she just thinks these types of affairs only in her imaginations, and in reality they have nothing like this. They have nothing there is no romance, there is no love, there is no affair between the two characters, which she just made up her mind that there must be this thing happened between them. The next morning, she make amends. When she does, she realizes that she loves Mr. Knightley. He loves her too, and they marry. Emma Woodhouse experiences a great reversal in character when she insults Miss Bates at Box Hill. Mr. Knightley reprimand really shames her, and it's only the character of Mr. Knightley who, from the start of the novel till the end, she was the only person who is criticizing Emma, who is just trying to make realize Emma about her mistakes, about what she is committing is not true. Rather, it's what she is doing is not practical, rather, it's only in her imaginations. Emma re examines not just this but all her behavior. She sees how poorly she acted towards Jane Fairfax, Harriet Smith, and Miss Bates only because of her upper class, because of her upper status. She just thinks that what she is saying, what she is thinking is true, and everything else is just wrong. And what she just is making her mind about any of the character, it is in reality it is only the case. The next morning, she amends with Miss Bates and she tries to help Jane Fairfax. Emma distances herself from Harriet, fearful she will hurt again, as she just hurt her three times before, only because of her wrong thinking, because of her wrong decisions, because of her wrong mindset. Good conduct becomes her new goal, and she hopes to become a better person. This is the development of her character from the very start till the end of the novel. As in the start, she is never ready to listen anything about her character, about her nature, but with the passage of time, by criticizing after listening the criticizing comments of Mr. Knightley, she just tries to improve her character. She tries to make herself as a better person, not only a snobbish type of character, rather a character who would be praised by everyone. She is rewarded Mr. Knightley. Mr. Woodhouse is Isabella and Emma's father. He is an old man accustomed to the doing attention of his youngest daughter. He hates change and therefore greet marriage as a misery. She is just a man of somehow he is a boring type of character, as he is not interested in social gatherings, he is not interested in marriage. With little else to do, he obsesses about his health and the health of others, making him a terrible hypochondriac, as he is very much conscious about his health. All the time he is talking about his health, all the time he um, is showing his only concern towards his health and the health of others. He is in constant conversation with Mr. Perry, the town doctor, as rich food, a slight drizzle, or a tiny breeze can send him into a panic. The Mr. He is sometimes he is just he is very much conscious about his health, that he all the time discussed about every change in weather, every change in his health. With he just discuss all these things with Mr. Perry, and sometimes he just discuss in very funny way that it's just to make a laugh Mr. Perry, that what he is talking about. He shares his fear with all around him, and they often affect social engagements. He does not like big parties or late nights. Mostly his good natured friends accommodate him. His worry is incessant, and he would likely have a terrible life if not for his daughter. Emma humors him, cares for him, and tries to keep him busy with visits from friends and family in order to change her mind, in order to make him a strong type of person, because all the time he is thinking about his health. He is thinking, he just all the time is lost in his own thoughts, rather than just observing the things, rather than just keeping himself busy in with friends, with society, with the every events in his home as well as in town. Rather, all the time he is engrossed in her own thoughts. He is engrossed in her thoughts of about his health, about life, that life is somehow we can say that life has no positive effects on his health, on his mind. Next is Isabella. She is the eldest daughter of Mr. Woodhouse, and she has been married for several years, and now she is living in London. Mr. Woodhouse greatly regrets her loss and speaks of her as though she were dead or in prison instead of happily married, because he thinks that marriage is misery, marriage is something pitiful. So he's thinking that Isabella is living the life of troubles, is living the life of difficulties as she got married. She and her husband get along well, and she loves being a wife and a mother. She shares her father's obsessive concerns about illness, which her husband stands as best as he can. As he can. As he is her father, Isabella's father, is under very obsession. He is all the time thinking about his health. He is thinking about his illness. He is just concerned about his own personal health, which and her husband is just tolerating these types of talks very patiently. Miss Taylor, she is Emma's governess and becomes Mrs. Weston at the very start of the novel, as she is Emma considers herself as the matchmaker when she just arranged a marriage between Miss Taylor and Mr. Weston. According to her, that it's she who just has arranged meetings between them, who just arranged this type of circumstances, that they just expressed the both the characters, both the couple just expressed their love in front of each other. As Miss Taylor, the governess, had some influence over the headstrong Miss Woodhouse, but she was more of friend than teacher, as she had just lived almost 16 years with Emma, and she just almost has changed she just trying to change the mindset of Emma, but all the time she is Miss Taylor, as she is living with Emma, but still after listening all the conversation, after listening all the advices of Miss Taylor, in the end it's a decision that is only made by Emma. She is showing her superiority by putting decisions on her own, by making her own decisions. Whatever she is saying, whatever Miss Taylor is just asking her, whatever she is advising her, in the end it's only Emma who is making her own decisions, who is making her life's decisions on her own. He and Emma, Mr. She's Miss Taylor. She is a kind, a wonderful woman, and has the respect of all the Highbury. Mr. Weston, he is also a very good-natured man whom Miss Taylor got married. He is also the father of Frank Churchill, who is also the very main character of the novel, as her appearance is just occurred very late in the novel, but he just had a very strong influence on the other characters. He and Emma are good friends, but Mr. Weston is so agreeable that one could say he is friends with everyone. Mr. George Knightley, he's also considered as the major character of the novel, as well as his importance is because of his narrative point of view, as he is the narrator of the whole novel, and he is the person who only has the authority to criticize Emma, who all the time is busy in making corrections in Emma's character. But all the time Emma just rejected her critical comments. She just tries to showing her superiority by rejecting her comments, rejecting his comments. But in the end, with the passage of time, she came to know that it's Mr. Knightley who is the best person, who just advising him in a right way all the time, but she ignores him. And with the passage of time, she just trying to obey whatever Mr. Knightley is saying to her. He's an old friend of the Wood family. His house is nearby and pays many casual visits to Hartfield. And Hartfield is the place where Mr. Woodhouse and Miss Emma live. He has known Emma since she was a child and always advised her in a right way. Emma did not always appreciate his advice, but he was always there for her. He is a kind, generous, and also a very reasonable man. He was the only person who could point out what Emma is doing wrong, what are the Emma's mistakes, what are the he is trying to make corrections in Emma's character. He became concerned about her behavior with Frank Churchill. Mr. Knightley did not like that particular Frank Churchill and would only late realize he was jealous of him because he is in love with Emma, and he is not ready to express his love towards Emma, but actually he is in love. He is loving Emma from the very almost the from childhood, as is visiting and he is trying to be friend with Emma from very long. He guessed the secret engagement with Miss Fairfax, and he was happy to hear that Emma was not in love with Mr. Churchill for both their sakes. Mr. Weston wanted to pair him with Jane Fairfax, and Harriet fell in love with him herself, because he is this type of person whom anyone can be in love. But Knightley, he was truly in love with Emma, but Emma, she never shows her love. She never shows her positive thoughts towards Knightley, but all the time she is just showing her snobbish acts. She is showing her superiority. She is just pretending to be the only woman, the only girl who can do anything. But despite his kind and gracious behavior to Harriet at the dance, his heart only belonged to Emma. When he finally told her, he learned his love was happily returned, as Emma was also in love with Mr. Knightley, but because of her arrogance, because of her pride, because of her superior nature, she is never ready to express her love towards Mr. Knightley. Anxious to marry her, he offered to move to Hartfield to make things easier on her father. Mr. Knightley is the kindest, most attractive man in the novel, and he and Emma finally marry. Mr. John Knightley, he is George's brother and husband to Isabella Woodhouse. He is also a good man, but he can be irritable or ill tempered. He does not have patience for his wife, as well as his father in law's hypochondria. When all the time his father is discussing about his health, he sometimes became impatient towards his wife's father. He prefers to be at home and parties make him uncomfortable. He is the first to guess that Mr. Elton has feelings for Emma, and later he is not surprised to hear of his brother's engagement to Emma. It means there are number of characters who just make predictions before the event, before what is going to happen. The characters make their predictions. They gave the hints. They gave somehow hints of any incident to be occurred, and it just and all these hints, all these predictions, they just move the story, move the novel on. Despite Emma's claims to matchmaking, it seems like Mr. John Knightley is a much better judge of the human heart. Mr. Elton, he is the town preacher. He is beloved by all, yet he did not get married with anyone till now. He falls in love with Emma, who wants him to marry Harriet. As Emma has just made up her mind that she would arrange meetings and marriage between Harriet and Mr. Elton, as she asked Harriet not to get married with Mr. Martin, who is the farmer who belonged to lower class, and Emma just made up her mind that Harriet would get married with the person of respectable class, of a middle class, not with lower class. And she just asked Mr. Elton. She just arranged meetings between Mr. Elton and Harriet, and Harriet just as she is also trying to obey Emma. She is also trying to see improvement in her character. So she is ready to accept her decisions, and she just made up her mind that she would not get married with Mr. Martin. Rather, she would be engaged with Mr. Elton. He falls in love with Emma. He is offended at this suggestion and leaves town when she heard that that Emma does not want to get married with Mr. Elton. Rather, she want to get marry Harriet to Mr. Elton. She just left the town after listening this thing from Emma. When he returns, it is with a new wife, Mr. Elton, whom Emma saw a kind man. There is now smugness, resentment, and vanity, because it is only the change that occurred in her life of Mr. Elton is only because of her new wife. He believes his wife superior to Miss Woodhouse, and the couple never misses a chance to slight Emma or her friend, because Mr. Elton he was thinking that Emma is has somehow arrogant and pride nature. So in order to underestimate her, he just slide her, he just insults her in front of her wife. Frank Churchill, he is the son of Mr. Weston and his first wife, and he was just sent to his uncle and aunt, who just raised him, because Mr. Weston thought that he has not this much money to raise his own son. So he asked her wife's relatives to bring him up under the care of his aunt. He is also subject to her whims, that whatever she is saying, whatever she is just expecting, he has to do that. She uses her illness to manipulate him, and he visits to Highbury are at her mercy, as she never allows her to go to Highbury. But he also plans his visit around Miss Fairfax. He met her in Weymouth, and the two entered a secret engagement. The Westons hope he will marry Emma, so to divert attention from his secret, he flirts with her. And he was just doing flirt with Emma, and Emma just made up her mind that she is also in love with Mr. Frank Churchill, only because of her appearance, only because of her background. But actually there was no love at all, because Emma herself is in love with Mr. Knightley from the very start of the novel. He is not heartless and claims he only flirted with her because he thought Emma knew his secret. That he is saying that he did not deliberately do this act. Rather, he was thinking that that Emma knew the secret of Mr. Frank Churchill and Fairfax affair. Frank Churchill is charming and attractive, and for a brief period, Emma thinks herself in love. Then she tries unsuccessfully to attach him to Miss Harriet Smith because Frank Churchill he was already engaged with Fairfax. Luckily, it did not work because soon after Mrs. Churchill's death, the engagement is revealed as in the life of Mrs. Churchill, she was not ready to accept Jane Fairfax. But after her death, the secret was just opened. It was just disclosed in front of all. Frank Churchill begs forgiveness and receives it. Despite his often poor treatment of Jane, she agreed to marry him, and the two are very much in love. Miss Bates, she is considered as a town chatterbox. She is a very sweet woman, and all the people of the town love her. She is not married, though she is not married, pretty or rich. She has the respect and admiration of everyone. Emma finds her constant babbling annoying, and during the Box Hill party, she insults Miss Bates as Miss Bates is also a very beautiful and attractive lady, and Emma she only considers herself as all the as the container of all the positive qualities, all the beauty only with Emma. And whenever she sees any other person who is also having the same attractiveness in character, she just trying to hate that person. So wonderful is this woman that she does not get angry with Emma. Rather, she blames herself and thinks Miss Woodhouse wonderful for putting up with her. It was very wrong for Emma to insult Miss Bates, who is so inferior in class to her. As there is no competition, there can be no competition between Emma and Miss Bates. Still, because of her insecurity, because of her insecurity in love, in life, she just hating Miss Bates. Emma seeks her forgiveness the next day and gains it, of course, and she just asks for forgiveness only on the advice of Mr. Knightley when he says that you did wrong with Miss Bates. Miss Harriet, she is a pretty young woman whom Emma adopts, and she is just made up her mind that she would remodel Miss Harriet. She is a boarder at Mrs. Goddard's, but her parentage is unknown. Emma just wants to improve her character, and she was not doing this for some purpose. Rather, she had good intentions. After Miss Taylor, she just needs a friend. She just wants to keep herself busy. So she just made up her mind that she would improve Harriet's character. She refuses a proposal from Mr. Martin, whom Emma believes to be too low class. Then Emma encourages her to set her sights on Mr. Elton, but the preacher falls in love with Emma, scorning Harriet as too low class. It means the Emma's thoughtful perfection in matchmaking got wrong in the very start. After the disaster, Emma tries to leave Harriet's love life alone. But the two things happen to Harriet. She is saved by Mr. Knightley. One day, when she was in the dance party. At that time, she was just insulted by Mr. Elton, and it's Mr. Knightley who just saved her by getting herself involved in dance with her. Mr. Churchill, the next, and Mr. Churchill is the person who was at one night Harriet was just attacked by some gypsies, and at that time it's Mr. Churchill who just saved her. and because of these two incidents, incidents when she got saved, she was just made up her mind that she's in love with with Mr. Frank Churchill and Mr. Knightley. Emma is sure that Harriet is in love with Frank, so she encourages the girl to hope. But it is really Mr. Knightley she loves, and Harriet is to be disappointed again when Mr. Knightley and Emma proclaim their love. And it means all the time it's Harriet who was just got hurt because of Emma's wrong decisions, because of Emma's wrong determinations, because of Emma's wrong presumptions. But luckily, Harriet is not distressed because Mr. Martin has proposed to her again and she has accepted. And it's the same Mr. Martin who was just rejected when Harriet came to Emma, and she is just making up her mind that she would not get married with Mr. Martin. Rather, she would get married with Mr. Elton, who is somehow a person of upper class rather than of Mr. Martin, who belonged to lower class. Often indecisive in the absence of Miss Woodhouse, Harriet was able to make the best decisions of her life. Uh, mm, Next is Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, who is the farmer whom Harriet loves, and Mr. Martin also loves Harriet. He proposes to her twice. He loves her. His love was because his love was very sincere. At first, when he just proposes her, at that time Harriet just accepted her proposal, but later on, because under the influence of Emma, she just rejected her proposal, and she is in search of someone better than Mr. Martin. But when she was just rejected by everyone, at that time Mr. Martin was still there, and he just again proposed her, and they just got married. Emma thinks him too low class, but Harriet finally decides to marry him, and it is considered a good match. Next is Jane Fairfax. She is orphan daughter of Miss Jane Bates and Lieutenant Fairfax. A friend of her father's took her into her family, and they just paid her for her education. And in order to secure her position in future, they just make her a governess. With no dowry, she cannot expect to marry, but she falls in love with Frank Churchill, and they two secretly got engaged because Mrs. Churchill, her aunt, Frank Churchill's aunt, she was not ready to accept this couple, accept this relationship. Jane takes a governess position after she and Frank have a fight, but after Mrs. Churchill's death, he and Jane are able to marry. Jane is a beautiful, elegant, and accomplished girl. Emma does not like her without any reason. Mr. Knightley thinks she is jealous, and Emma later realizes she is, because she was never ready to accept a person who has somehow the same beauty or elegance and perfection in her character. When Emma realizes her error, she does all she can do to correct it despite Jane's cold reception of her attempts. Miss Hawkins, or Mrs. Elton, she is a conceited lady whom Mr. Elton marries. She thinks herself of high class, and her only claim to greatness is only of her brother-in-law's fortune. She herself has no superiority. She does not belong to upper class, and only because of her brother-in-law's fortune, she was showing her this pride. She likes to the center of attention and shows how elegant, intelligent, and talented she is. Emma just considers herself her Mrs. Elton or Miss Hawkins as an awful person. Mrs. Elton does not like Emma either, for many of the same reasons as Emma does not like Miss Hawkins. Now we will discuss about the minor characters who are also contributed a lot in moving on the novel. First of all, it's Mrs. Woodhouse. She is the mother of Emma and Isabella and wife to Mr. Woodhouse. She died when Emma was young and is scarcely a memory. Miss Taylor was employed to perform some of the motherly duties, but without a real mother, Emma soon became the mistress of the house because she can never think Miss Taylor as she can never give the place of her mother to Miss Taylor, and she was showing just very kind behavior towards Miss Taylor. Very she was befriend to Miss Taylor, but she was not ready to give the place of mother to Miss Taylor. James, he is trusted carriage driver for the Woodhouse family. Hannah, the daughter of James, and it's Emma who found a job to that girl and Randall's, and it's the nearby state, so his father James could meet her whenever he is feeling sad or he just wants to meet Hannah. This was a very kind thing of Emma towards her servant. Miss Churchill or Mrs. Weston. She is the daughter of the Churchills, wife to Mr. Weston, and mother of Frank Churchill. She loved Mr. Weston, but her marriage to him had angered her family and caused a rift, and it's because of the class difference, as Churchills belong to upper class and Mr. Weston belong to lower class, and because of their marriage, because of their love affair, Churchills they just asked their sister that she would never come this home because of her marriage to the person who belonged to lower class. And this is also the phenomenon of 19th century, that class difference is there, and the people they are they no, the people who belong to upper class, they never ready to accept the people who belong to lower or middle lower class. She loved Mr. Watts, therefore, she was forced in life less elegant without any help from her family. But after marriage with Mr. Weston, still she lived in the thoughts of past, that in past she was just living the life of luxuries, just living the life of relaxation. But now, as Mr. Weston is not this much rich, and she was just missing her past a lot. Mr. Churchill, he is the meek husband of Mrs. Churchill and uncle to Frank. He and his wife raised Frank. Mr. Churchill goes along with his wife's demands and loves her very much, but at her death, he emerges as capable of making his own decisions and agrees to let Frank marry Jane. Mrs. Churchill, she is the aunt of Frank Churchill, and she helped a lot in raising Frank Churchill. She uses her illness to manipulate her nephew and husband in doing her will. She often calls Frank away at inconvenient times because she knows she can. After her death, Frank is able to make his engagement to Miss Fairfax public, and also Mr. Churchill, who somehow he just finds himself as free as he is now free in making his own decisions. Mr. Barry, he is the doctor whom Mr. Woodhouse constantly consults. His advice is strictly adhered to, even to the point of folly. Mrs. Bates, the old deaf widowed mother of Miss Bates. Mrs. Goddard's, she is the mistress of the school of Harriet Smith's, attends. Harriet boards with her, living at her home. Miss Nash, one of the teachers at Mrs. Goddard's and one of many who sing Mr. Elton's praises. Henry Knightley. He is the son of Isabella and John Knightley, and Emma's just has made up her mind that if Mr. Knightley, Mr. George Knightley would get married, then Mr. Henry Knightley would not get very much in inheritance. Rather, inheritance would be divided. So she was in favor of not marrying of Mr. Knightley, Mr. George Knightley. But we will see in the novel that in the end she just forget this kind act towards Henry Knightley, and she was happily married with Mr. George Knightley. Mr. Wingfield, he is the doctor of Isabella Knightley. She was consults with her in London. Colonel and Mrs. Campbell, they are friends of Lieutenant Fairfax, and they just raised Jane Fairfax, and they just took the burden of cost of her education in order to secure her future. Jane's education was meant to secure her a place as governess, and that will soon be her fate. Mr. and Mrs. Cole, they are a couple best described as nowhere rich, and they think that now they are newly rich persons, and they can invite anyone to their parties, and they can enjoy like upper class, and they just showing their wealth a lot towards others. Emma is offended when they are just inviting Emma to their party. She was offended at such boldness, and she plans on refusing them. But when she came to know that all of her friends were going to the party, she also went there. Miss Campbell or Mrs. Dixon, she is the daughter of Colonel and Mrs. Campbell, and is the best friend of Jane Fairfax. Jane came to live with them in her youth, and the two of the age became very close friends. But Miss Campbell falls in love with Mr. Dixon, and they get married. Mr. Dixon, the Irishman who married Miss Campbell, the daughter of Colonel Campbell, Miss Fairfax' benefactor. He once saved Miss Fairfax from drowning, and Emma imagines that they are in love, and it's only because of her romantic thoughts, because of her imaginations. She shares this piece of invented gossip with Frank Churchill, and at that time she does not know that Mr. Frank Churchill is actually engaged with Jane Fairfax. The name Dixon becomes a secret code, and most often Mr. Churchill, she just teased Jane because of Dixon's. We can see that it's only the marriage that is important among the characters. Lieutenant Fairfax, the father of Jane Fairfax, he married her mother, Miss Jane Bates, but died in battle soon after his daughter was born. Miss Jane Bates, the youngest daughter of Mrs. Bates and the sister of to our Miss Bates. She married Lieutenant Fairfax, who died in battle. Miss Jane Bates also died soon after giving birth to Jane Fairfax. Elizabeth Martin. She is the sister of Mr. Martin, and she always treats Harriet with very politely, with kind behavior. Even Harriet rejects her brother. The Coxes, they are a lower class family in Highbury. They are friends with Bates and Eltons. Mr. Suckling, the husband of Selina Hawkins, Mrs. Elton's sister, he is a rich man with a great house and an elegant carriage. Mrs. Elton refers to him often in the hope of elevating herself. Selina Hawkins, Mrs. Suckling, the sister of Mrs. Elton. Selina married well, and her good fortune is a source of pride and vanity for Mrs. Elton. It means the only financial superiority over the class difference. People can associate themselves with that particular class, and they can raise their status. Miss Bickerton, a boarder at Mrs. Goddard's school, she and Harriet are out walking, and they were attacked by Gibsons. Miss Beckerton runs away, and she just left Harriet alone, and it's Mr. Frank Churchill who came there to save her. And when she was saved by Frank Churchill, she just made up her mind that it's Mr. Frank Churchill whom she is in love with. Anna Weston, the baby born to Mr. and Mrs. Weston. These are the minor characters and major characters of the play, and we can see that almost all the characters are representing some class. Either some are representing upper class, lower class, middle lower class. All the classes are there according to the characters, and by analyzing the characters of the novel, we can observe, we can analyze, we can see that which type of century is 19th century, and which type of characters, which type of people were living at that time.